Hi guys. What I want to talk to you about this time is what I do for a living. What I do as a life calling. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, or as I like to say, psycho, long pause, therapist. Mental health. And this is something that we all are called upon to do, and we actually are eager to do multiple times, countless times throughout our lives. Give advice to family, loved ones, a stranger in the park. There are even some professions where it seems that therapy and counseling is part of the unofficial job description, such as bartenders and hairstylists. It is a noble calling, if I may say so, but we often speak of this therapy and this healing in one dimension. We talk about mental health, and sometimes we talk about emotional health. But we are all, each of us, a system. We are all part of a continuum. We are the mental, we are the emotional, we are the physical, we are the spiritual. It doesn't really matter which order I put those in, although I guess to me it does, because to me the most important is the spiritual. The spiritual binds everything together. The spiritual gives us our sense of purpose. And that's how we build our purpose within the spiritual. Mental, physical, and especially emotional. Very mercurial, very capricious. All these different things can come and go as far as moods and thoughts and physical fitness. But spirituality, we can take the time to learn and then eventually define a set of principles which we commit to and which we can also refine and grow as life goes on, but the core principles can and should remain the same. But we do this in the spiritual dimension. But the other problem is that the spiritual, for many of us, is conflated with morals and ethics, and we speak of the universe guiding our choices. Now, of course, the moral and the ethical are informed by the spiritual, and the choices that we make are informed by the spiritual, but ethics and morals and the universe are not the spiritual. The spiritual is this sense of, more than the sense of purpose. The spiritual is our purpose. Purpose is defined individually by the individual, but it's the spiritual dimension that allows this to happen, and where this is crafted, and where this grows and becomes a beautiful living thing that allows us to become beautiful living things filled with passion and goodness and purpose. Spirituality is a connection with the divine. Now, a lot of you think I'm going to be pretentious to say this, but if you deny the divine, yet you still have a purpose, a real moral compass, you're truly a good person, I'm saying that the spiritual still informs you, although you're not conscious of it. Or maybe you are and you just want to deny it. When you do become conscious and when you do embrace it, then that spiritual aspect of you grows and flourishes. You can't have that purpose and you can't have that goodness without that spirituality. The spirituality, the spiritual dimension of us is crucial to everything that we do. And it is this orientation from which I proceed as a therapist and as a human being. It allows us to see an end result, an end game that is going to be achieved despite our efforts or lack of efforts. But once we see that end game, once we see that end result, we then know that we can contribute to it in immensely meaningful ways. Maybe not in the way to change the actual nation, but to change ourselves and those around us, and then those people are invited to change themselves and those around them, and it grows exponentially. This is what spirituality is. This is what purpose is. Now, granted, some people try to manipulate that spirituality, and some people allow that spirituality, usually filtered through the words of others, to manipulate them. I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating that. What I'm advocating is get to know your spiritual dimension. Get to know the spiritual, the physical, the mental, the emotional. Develop all of them. Become the best person you can be. Become the best version of yourself today, knowing that the best version of yourself will be slightly different tomorrow. Keep pursuing that. Keep that as your goal. And become this living, dynamic force that I know you were created to become. How do I know this? That's a spiritual truth. For now, peace.